Okay, so I'm just in one of my plan books and here's the rearrange and filter button. So give me a thumbs up if you have used this before. No. Okay. So the rearrange and filter button, you're going to find it in the different views. So right now I'm on the week view, but if you go to the day view, you can also see it there. The month view has the rearrange and filter button. So does the unit timeline. And then, of course, in your outline, you can pick which classes you want to see. So I'm going to go back to the week view. And this is how I recommend using the rearrange and filter. For me, it would be more about decluttering my screen. Like if I'm planning one class, I would only want to see that class. Or if you have um, like as a high school teacher, I had some classes that were pretty much the same. Like here for this plan book, I have a period 1, which is US history inclusion. And then also my period 4 and my period 7 is also US history inclusion. So those classes most likely are going to have very similar lessons. Now there might be different accommodations and modifications just depending on what students are in there. And I might have to make those different. But I probably want to see all 3 of those when I'm planning those classes. So what I would do is hide these classes, and then I'm just going to select those because those are the ones that I'm planning. And then if I close out of that, those are the only ones on my screen now, is just those US history inclusion classes. So what I could do is
Sorry,
I have
Jen. Jen, I missed that first detail. How did you hide all the classes?
yep, okay, I'll show that again.
So
Okay,
sorry.
yeah, no, that's fine. Okay, so rearrange and filter. And then originally, this is what it looks like. So they're all showing, and you can click this right here. It says
Oh,
hide all classes. Yep.
got it. Okay.
Click that, and then select the ones that you want to show up. And then I'll just click back. So then I have a lesson mostly planned here. Not everything's in here yet, but let's say that this whole lesson was planned and it was ready to go. Then in the lesson menu, I could just hit that copy button, scroll right down to my period 4, and I can paste it in. So there's my period 4. And then all I have to do is just make edits, probably to this box right here, the accommodations and modifications, because my students would be different in that class. And then for me, I always like to have a notes card. So I'll just throw whatever notes in there I needed to for that class. And then again, I could go down to my period 7 and paste it right in there. Okay, so then I could go back here, show all my classes again, and then maybe I want to plan like a team meeting. So when I was teaching, I'd have team meetings with my grade level team, and we'd talk about student progress and parent meetings we needed to have and when we were going to have those meetings and all of those things. So I could hide all of my classes and then only have my team meeting show up. So then this is all I'm viewing, and then I can just start adding in my notes, and there isn't all those other distractions happening on the screen.
Mm.
Okay, so I'm going to go back to here. I'm going to show all my classes again. You can also rearrange them. You can pick them up and move them around from here if there was ever a reason you needed to do that. You can also line up your classes, which this is cool if you just want your screen to look more clean because, some lessons might be really long, some might be short, and they're kind of all over the place. So if you click the line up, close out of here, all my morning to-dos are lined up. Period 1 is lined up. No matter how long or how short the lessons are, they're lined up. So that's a good tip if this just makes more sense to you or looks cleaner to you. I know also right now, this is something we would love to fix, the scrolling buttons. So the buttons up here to go back and to go forward, right now they're only at the top of the screen. So if you're scrolling down to plan, we know that this is a problem that we need to get fixed. But right now you have to scroll back up to go to the next page. But a workaround for that, at least right now, while we don't have a fix for it, is that, you just hide your classes and only show the one you're working on. That way you're not scrolling all the way down to the bottom and then back up to go back and forward. Okay, I am going to turn the lineup classes off. The other thing that's really cool is collapse classes. So you can click on this and then everything collapses. So this is another way of just making it look more manageable for you on your screen. If there's only certain lessons that you want to see at the time, you can just expand and collapse those as needed. Okay, other ways to rearrange and filter what you see on your screen. And then if I want to make those not collapsed, I can just go up and hit that button. But in your settings button, this is where you can go back to your classes and your schedule. So here's all your classes, but you can also click on order. And then this is where you can rearrange your classes if you need to. So if for some reason your team meeting moves around, you can just move that to wherever you need it to go in your schedule. That way you don't have to do it day by day. It will just automatically update that for you for each week. Some teachers, I know you're teaching by semesters or quarters even, or maybe some classes you're teaching at certain weeks during the year and some you're not. So this is where you can come and turn those classes off if you're not teaching them anymore, so they're not showing up on your screen. So let's say if I want to take out my period 4 for the whole week, just take that off. And then I'm going to go back to my planning. And then you'll see that period 4 is no longer there. Now, if you do turn off a class, but you had lessons planned, it's going to give you this message here because we want to make sure that you know you had a lesson there. And then you can decide what you want to do with it. If you wanted to erase it, or maybe you don't. Maybe you want to leave it there because maybe it's a semester class or something and you were just planning out further extra lessons or something and you just want to leave it. It's fine. Okay, and then if you ever need to turn that class back on, again, you just go to your classes and schedule, go back to your order, and then you just turn that back on. Okay, and then again, like I said, these buttons are available in your day view and your other views. So you can do all of that in there too. All right, so that's the basics of the rearrange and filter. I want to
How did you
know.
get that nice background?
Oh yeah, okay. So in your settings button, you can go to title and background. And then these are the options